Hey friends, welcome to the Brandy podcast. I'm your host, Brandy, and in this podcast, we're going to talk through all things real estate, wealth building, and investing. And what I really want you to do is reach your financial freedom and live your life worth living. Welcome back to the Brandy podcast, where we talk about building generational wealth through real estate. Today is a special episode for me. It's called Real Estate Isn't Just for Men, My Journey as a Female Flipper. For years, real estate, especially in the investing world, has been all about men. So if you think about vendors, lenders, contractors, nobody is going to take a woman serious. And in the beginning, that was really intimidating to me. What I've learned is if you know your numbers, if you have knowledge, if you have an executed plan, all of this stuff can be avoided and you will not feel intimidated. So we're gonna dive into all of this and my journey as a female flipper. When I first started, I had all the doubts. Would contractors take me seriously? Would investors trust me? How would I even know how to run a renovation budget? What I quickly realized is real estate and investing is not about gender. It's about knowledge. It's about knowledge, relationships, and execution. And those three things are what we're gonna dive into today. The first deal I did was not perfect by any stretch. The first deal I had a partner on. The first deal I pulled a HELOC on my house out of. I didn't even have the down payment. I had done enough research to know I needed a renovation budget. I had a spreadsheet, but I had the lack of knowledge. It was my first one. So, if I wrote down this number for flooring cost, how did I know if it was really gonna, happen that way? It's simple things like that. So every line of this renovation budget, I didn't have the knowledge to confidently put that on paper and then execute it. So when you talk about knowledge and you talk about relationships and then execution, they all kind of go hand in hand. There's three things I want to talk about: owning your numbers, building the right team, and then leaning into your strengths. So owning your numbers, what does that look like? So for many of you, if this is like investing 101 and we're going to start from scratch, what numbers are you supposed to know? Well, you really want to know like what you purchased the home for and then what you're going to potentially sell it for. So what is that ARV? There's going to be a gap, right? So what is your renovation budget? And then let's say that you bought something for $150,000, you have a reno budget of $50,000, and you're trying to resell it for $250,000. So on that spreadsheet, you have got to really dive in and know, like, what is LVP, a square foot? What is that type of flooring? Are you going to go solid hardwood? What is that a square foot? What does it cost you so let's just talk about female flippers here. I know that I am not going to be nailing down, there's probably many female flippers out there that do the manual labor themselves, and that's great. I know that I'm not going to, for me, time is money. So I'm going to quote out that install price. I'm going to quote out that floor and I'm going to manage the project, but I'm going to hire everything out. And so knowing the numbers is going to be super crucial to hitting that budget and making sure that your profit, if your goal profit is $50,000, if you don't know your numbers, you're definitely not going to hit that. Your knowledge is going to close that credibility gap too. So if you're thinking about are the contractors going to trust me? If you go into that project day after day and you know what's going on, you have a list, you know what's supposed to be accomplished by, this week, next week, and you have kind of a schedule, they're gonna know you mean business. If you go in there not knowing what's going on, you know nothing about tile work, you know nothing about flooring, what the trends should look like, the kind of knowledge of just the construction progress, then yes, you're gonna have some bumps in the road. So the more knowledge you can have, the more power you're gonna have. And I would encourage you to pick up a book if you've never, done any kind of project. Just start that knowledge journey. The second thing is building the right team. And this is gonna be really crucial. So when I say build the right team, you have to decide what percentage of your time are you gonna spend doing the manual labor. Like for me, I'm not doing the manual labor. So I'm gonna make sure that all of my vendors and all of my contractors, all of my partners are the right ones. They're ones that I can trust. They're ones that are not gonna rip me off. And they're ones that are dependable. They're gonna show up and do what they're told and do what the job description is. So building the right team is really crucial. And I would say prior to making that first step on, buying that first flip house, I would say do your research. ask other investors in the area that, who do they use? Who do you use for plumbing? Who do you use for electrical? Who do you use for flooring? Who installs your countertops? That type of thing. So building your team out and having that list of vendors and all of their contact information so you feel confident that you've built the right team. Okay, the third thing is lean into your strengths. Like I said, mine is not manual labor. Yours might be. You may save a lot of money by doing some of the things yourself. Now, I will say this, you have to also have you have a renovation budget, you also have a timeline, and time is money. So if you got a loan on this property, you're paying interest, yes? So time is money there. So if you have a renovation budget of X and you have a timeline of X, let's say 90 days to get this done, you wanna make sure that you're turning and burning, okay? And that everyone is on board for this timeline as well. From like a 30,000 foot view, what does this project look like? Okay, I know, I'll just speak from experience. I know that I'm good at the budget, I'm good at the spreadsheets, I'm good at dealing with the bank, I'm good at getting the draws if that's what it looks like. I'm good at all of those things. I'm not gonna do the bookkeeping myself. I'm gonna have it prepared so that my bookkeeper can handle it. But I know in preparation, those are gonna be my strengths, right? And laying the hammer down when I go to the job site. They know that I mean business. And going as far as I'll offer a bonus. If we get this done by this date or a week early, contractor gets a bonus. Having those incentives that really make everyone we're a team, we want this to be done. We want to meet our timeline goals. So knowing your strengths is gonna be really crucial in the flipping process. Things that are not my strength, and I know this, and so I know that I'm gonna hire this out. So I talked about manual labor, that is not my strength. Speaking Spanish, if we have Spanish-speaking contractors, I don't speak Spanish. I know that ChatGPT, I know that Google Translate, I know I have my systems for being able to communicate with the contractors if you're gonna, choose Spanish-speaking workers. So it's just really important to, like we said, know your numbers, build your team, and know your strengths on the project. So if you're listening to this and thought real estate is just for men, flipping is not for me, don't tell yourself that that is a lie. This business is for you if you're willing to learn, take action, and build the right systems. My journey as a female flipper hasn't always been easy, but the best part is I get to inspire other women just like you into taking that first step into investing. If you're ready to flip the script on what real estate looks like, start today. Pick up a book, analyze a deal, walk a property. Your journey can begin right now. DM me if you have more questions, and please share this episode with another woman that you're looking to inspire to build generational wealth through real estate. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. If you want to know more about investing, wealth building, or real estate in general, head on over to brandyleiden.com and you can book a consult with me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to hear more episodes like this one. See you next time.